Hello viewers, welcome to Core for Any. If you hear new, hit subscribe buttons and notification bell so you can never miss any our incredible content. Let us taxi up inside. Today we need to see this here. The user right screens we need to develop here. First of all, we need this here. The create this UI and then after we need to put this here the inside the data. First of all, we need to write down here the API calls for the all user rights need to creates here the API names. Now need to go inside the globe files and to write down here the static const sv user all rights is equal to write down here the dollars base URL and to write down here the users all rights. List API we need to call this here. Now need to save these files and to call this here. Now need to create here the new screens for the user sites we need to develop today. Tomorrow we need to develop here for the driver sites. We need to develop here the my rights. First of all, we need to give this here the file names we need to set here. Inside go user folders we need to go and to create new files and to give this here the users my rights view dot like this. Need to write here and to create here the stateful widgets and to give this here the name user my rights view, and also need to import here the material dependency need to import here. Now need to create here the scaffolds. Need to write down here the scaffolds. First of all, need to write down here scaffold and to create here the f bar and to write down here the f bars and to create here the evaluation 0.5 we need to set here. Then after we need to set here the background colors. We need to set as the color whites. Then after we need to create here the leading and to develop here the back buttons. We need to develop write down here the icon buttons and to on press events we need to call this here the extension methods of the context to pop methods need to call. Now need to set here the icons. Use this here the image assets and to use this here the assets slash image slash back png. And now we need to set this here the width and height 25 like this sets here and to configure this here. And also need to enable here the center titles. We need to set here the true. Now need to write down here the titles. We need to set here the text and to write down here my rights set as the titles my rights and to set here the styles. We need to set text styles. We need to set as a colors. First of all, we need to set this here color as a primary text. We need to set this here. Then after we need to set here the font size. We need to given this here the 18. Then after we need to set here the font weight 800. Now we need to call here the API. First of all, we need to write down here the API calls. Now need to go inside homes and to copy this here this API calls and to put inside the my rights first of all. Now we need to import here the globe files. Then after the service calls and also need to remove here parameters no needs because without parameters this API callings post methods like this sets here. Now need to change give this here the API names users all rights and to remove this here the errors and to set this here like this value. Now defines here the one variables save inside the all right list in array to write rights array, set here's, and initialize these functions. Need to call this here's API calling booking request. To first of all rename this here the functions names. All rights list like this, sets here the names and to change here's place. Now need to get here the data and to save these variables inside the right array is equal to request objects and to pass this here the key or the payload and to get this here the list array list gets here and to save inside this rights array inside this sets. Now need to check here the if mounted, then need to set states, need to call this here's and set here's like this, need to set here's and to save this here. Now this here are the calling this API and to set this here. Now also need to call configurations are the this view. Go now set menu view and to copy here the summaries view and to put this here the duplicates create of the summary and to change this here the names as my rights and to change this here the view names user my rights. We need to set this here like this text, need to set this here and to save here and also need to make here conditions if user types service call user type is equal to once means user logins, otherwise tribal logins like this need to configure, so need to call this only events for the if user logins like this, need to set here and to configure these buttons. Now need to save this here and to save this view and to get this here the list. Now click on and to calling this here API and also need to get this here the data and to save inside the variables. Now need to create here the list UI, need to develop here. Now need to go users my rights view and to create here the list view binders, need to call this with the separators, need to callings with the spacing, need to given this here the between two cells. Now need to write down here the body and to develop here one by ones and drawing the cells. First of all need to list view defines here and to set here the separators and to give this here the setting here the builders. First parameters need to give this here the context, seconds is the indexed, then after need to returns here the view and to write down here the containers, need to call this here. Now need to create first of all the separators, give this here the between two cells, spacing need to set here. Now need to use this here the build context indexed given this here, then after need to set this here the size box, give this here the height as a set here the 15s and to set here the const value. Now items counts need to set here. First of all need to write down here the rights array dot length, need to pass this here and to set this here. Now need to first of all need to set here the padding const edges insets symmetrics, need to give this here the vertical 20 and horizontals need to set here the 15 like this sets here the paddings. Then after need to get here the objects of the current rights, need to index wise need to get this here the right objects, need to get this here our object is equal to, need to call this here the right array index of value and to parse as a maps, need to call this here as map optionals and to give this here if not gets any value then to use here the blank array, otherwise need to crash here the your apps. That's why I need to use here the optional always and to convert into the required fields, need to set this here the required objects. If you not available then to set here the defaults value and to now need to create here the UI. First of all need to create here the set here the padding, so need to give this here the edges inset symmetrics, so need to give this here and we need to set this here the verticals 15s and horizontal 15s. We need to set this here for this padding UI. Now need to create here the decorations of the box decorations. Need to set this here pretty goods. Need to UI draw. First of all need to write down here the colors, backgrounds colors need to set as a colors. Give this here the color whites. Then after set here the border radius, need to give this here the border radius circulars pi. Then after so need to set here the box shadow, need to set const array inside to give this here the box shadow, and set here the color black 12. So need to set this here as a shadow, and now need to set here the blur radius, set here the true. Like the settings for the configurations are the needs here and to configure this UI and look like this here the showing here the box. Now need to box inside, need to set here some data, need to displaying. First of all need to write related information sets here, then after need to pick up and drop informations need to showing here. First of all need to go here and to create UI. Now need to set here the children's inside to set here the columns children's. And now first of all need to give this here the cross axis elements. So need to set this here as a the start like this sets here. Now need to create here first row, then after need to create here the dividers. Like this sets here. First row inside first of all need to create here the icon showing here the catch image. Need to catch network image, need to call this here. Now need to pass here the image URL, so need to call this here the R objects, and to give this here the icon key you need to set here as a string. Optionals need to set here like this sets here. Then after need to give this here the width, we need to set as a width 14s, heights 14s, and to set here the box width. Contents need to set this here and to save this here and look like this here the displaying here the car image. Now need to showing here the service names, and first of all need to set here the here service name, then after dates, and here's showing here the status. First of all need to create here the expand class, need to call here, and inside we need to create here the columns children's like this. We need to set this here. Now we need to give this here the cross axis elements. Need to first of all set here the start like this set here. Now we need to create here the text fields. Write down here the text, and to give this here the value or objects, and to give this here the service name. As we need to set as a string optionals, and to pass this here. Now need to set here the styles. Need to copy the styles and to paste this here, and to set this here, and to set here, and also need to give this here the which space we need to set here as a 15 const value. Save here and to showing this like this value. Now first of all need to show this here the status. We need to showing here. First of all need to go previous UI inside. We need to set this here the status, and status colors we need to set. Logics are the explains. Now need to copy here, go inside the user rights, and need to copy here the status colors, as well as into needs this here the status names. We need to needs here, need to copy here the status names, and need to paste inside the my rides and to paste here. Now need to pass here the map objects and to write down here the ride objects like this and to fix this here the errors for these functions. Like this we need to set here and to this data. And now need to set here the status. Need to calls here after the expand and to write down here the text fields. Need to copy here and to paste this here again, and now need to paste this here. Now need to pass here, get here the status text and to give this here the our objects need to pass here, and also need to get here the status colors. We need to give this here the status colors and to pass here the our objects and to set here the data like this, and to showing this here the status. Now need to decrease this font, so need to set here the 17 as well as here decrease, and also need to 700 we need to set this here like this. Need to showing here. Now we need to show this here the rights status wise. Need to date showing here. First of all need to copy here these titles, these functions, and to convert into the returns here the dates. Need to write down here the status wise date time, and now need to return here the date times. First of all this status means the rights are the accepted, then to displaying here the accepted times. Need to display, need to pass here brackets inside. Need to call this here the methods rights objects and to give this here the accepted time, accepted time, as we need to return here the string optionals, and now need to convert into the date format. All here optionals date times, and also need to convert as a string formats. This is the extensions methods. First extensions methods need to go definitions for the creating for the string to convert as a date times, and second are the explain here string formats are the date time extension to string format. Need to create here the extension methods. Now need to pass here the formats and to needs here the print here these outputs, and also need to blank this value like this sets here. First of all need to pass this here the dd triple times amps like this, and to write down here comma y, and to write down here the small h small m and to am like this. Need to pass this here the value for this sets here. So now need to copy here this text and to here's set here. Now need to set here the secondary text and to set here the font size need to set as a 12, and to remove regular fonts need to set here. Now need to pass here the status twice date times and to pass here the r objects. Then after set this data, now other status wise need to set this here the data. Need to paste all things and to change only the variables names of the key names. Need to changing here. If you pending, then to set here the pickup date time, so need to set this here pickup date set here. Then after if are the right node driver pounds, then to write down here the stop time, also cancel, then stop times completed stop times. If ride started, need to start time. If waiting for users, then to set here the start times like this sets here this value, and to return this here the appropriate date times. Need to return here and to showing here. So now need to save here And to get this here the readings errors, we need to fix this here first of all. Maybe right here the functions date format data for wrong functions we need to write. That's why issue here. Updates here this date functions names and to save these years. Now fixing this issue and showing here the date and times, we need to show these years. Now need to displaying here the pickup and drop time address, need to showing here and to complete this UI. Now after dividers, first of all need to set here the const value, and now need to create here the anothers row, create here the children's, and to create here the container decorations, box decorations, need to pass this here, pass first of all the color. Maybe we have already created inside the trip details, need to check this here the screens and to copy and paste here. Go trip details and to copy these lines. Now need to paste here. Again need to paste for the drop off, and now need to set here comma and to set as a primary. Save this here. Look like things here the showing here, and also need to give this here the some height space. Need to set as a 8 const width. Set as a comma, and also need to give this here the some height space here. Set as a 8. Like this showing here. Good. Also need to set here the maximum lines. Set as a 2 both place. Pick up and drop. Now need to set here the pickup value and drop off value. Need to address need to showing here. Write object pickup address and are in the string optionals like this. Save here and to showing here the pickup address, same as need to copy this line and to paste as a drop off address, need to set this here drop address. And to call this here the expand and to fix this here the overflow errors. Also need to write down here widget expanded, and to set this here. And one more things, we need to set here the cross axis alignments. We need to set as a start, and copy here, maybe no need. Now this is the displaying good UI, and to set this UI for the user, all my rides bookings, you need to get this here with status, need to showing this here. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care. And tomorrow need to see this here, the driver sides need to create here, the my rides need to showing here, so with the related, the price related informations and booking related information to showing here in the next video.